Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another wonderful round here at TRACKILICIOUS, folks. We are doing the 100-minute multi-class Masters around Spa-Francorchamps, the 4.3-mile track, or 7 kilometers. What the heck is a kilometer anyways? Founded in 1921, current layout from 2022, located in Francorchamps, Belgium. 18 corners, 19 corners, 9 to the right, 10 to the left, with 337 feet of elevation change, with a 1 kilometer or 0.65 mile long straightaway. That'll be the Kemmel Straight that we're talking about. It looks like the drivers are starting their qualifying session right now. A couple drivers already getting their laps underway right now. Without further ado, let's take a look at the calendar. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all. Change that. Transform. Oh, that is right. Sorry about that, folks. This is looking right to me. And this is the GT4 Rookies. Of course, that runs on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that'll be this coming up. That'll be March 3rd, or February 24th, excuse me. We'll be racing at Mazzano for a 20-minute doubleheader. And then after that, it'll be Mazzano again for the GT4 Open Championship Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The West Coast Wednesday is following things up, obviously, on Wednesdays. Racing at Centerton for their 50-minute race on February 26th. GT3 Championship will close things out at the Charlotte Roval on February 27th in 1 week's time. The Multiclass Masters has been to Imola. This time we're going to be at Spa-Francorchamps, and then the Orica Masters Cup. That'll be racing at Spa-Francorchamps as well for their 60-minute race on February 28th, next Friday. Of course, alternating weeks between the Multiclass Masters and the Orica Masters Cup, so there's plenty of action to be had on Le Mans Ultimate. The Proto Pavement Championship still is raging on March 2nd. Excuse me, on February 23rd. For some reason, I think we're done with February already. In Valencia on February 23rd for their 80-minute race. That's in 2 days' time. And then Watkins Glen on March 2nd. Paul Ricard on March 9th for their 80-minute race. And that'll round out the driver on the top who gets to go from Sim to IRL. They get to ride on a track day with a track prepped car and $500 for travel. That's 500 buckaroos for that lucky lady and or gentleman who gets to go from sim to real life. Check out the Patreon calendar or the Patreon subscribers. Everybody in the V12 Exotic, big thank you to Carson Cass, Igor Carr, Raleigh, Dushy, Casey Schutte, Jose Guzman, Stefano Rinaldi, Dan Brace, Low My Beard, and Tanner Masters, Jacob Church, Moriko Yatashani. And thank you very much to the V8 Muscle Inline 4 donors. Pranav Kalavala, Mason Perchowski, Christopher McNichol, Jeff Franks, Milos Tansky, Ilpo Razalainen, Reggie King, Randy Gross, Patty Doring, Alex Freeman, Christian Dubé, Jason Provolone, George Elmer, Jeff Dallas, Scott Sullivan, and Justin Beachley. Really appreciate all the love and support and keeping the lights on here at TRACKILICIOUS. Now, without any further delay, let's head down to the stream and check out what the drivers are all up to now. For the first 10 minutes of qualifying, we have another roughly 5 minutes left, if I'm not mistaken, left of qualifying. For 15 minutes. Anyways, for the first half of qualifying, what we're doing is we're having the GT3s go out first. So you see Lucas Schroeder, Chris Tones, Carlos Guzman, One Bigley, Jason Provolone, Darren Wicks, Tomaz Leiden, Drew Harkins, Austin Wall, Zach Miller, and Landon Wall, presumably brothers with Austin Wall, go out onto the racetrack, and Xavier Crabb as well go out onto the racetrack and put down their best lap times that they possibly can. But right now it's Lucas Schroeder who is leading the charge right now. And he's doing a 219.635 right now. That'll be the time to beat for all the other drivers. Chris Tones, looking at him, he's not doing as good as the first place car of Schroeder. And then Carlos Guzman won bigly. Zach Miller, Jason Provolone, Drew Harkins, Darren Wicks, and Xavier Crabb right now are the drivers that are doing their laps. Austin Wall and Landon Wall are out there doing laps as well, but haven't set personal times just yet. Rose Gaming is on the podium. Man, that's almost a year, he says. 25 months, currently on a 20-month streak. Thank you very much for being here, Rose Gaming. Really appreciate all the love and support that you're giving to the TRACKILICIOUS community and help keeping the lights on here. Yellow flag is waving on the circuit, but quickly dissipates. Chris Tones coming to the end of the second sector, I believe. And no, he's actually going in through sector 3 right now and getting to the line. I haven't seen an update for his sector 2 time. Chris Tones gets bumped back to 3rd place on that previous lap. Last lap unknown so far. Carlos Guzman finds himself in 2nd place, practicing his pit stop entry, it looks like, and lighting up the rear end goes the 2nd place Team WRT car, the number 31 of Carlos Guzman on his outlap now. Checking out one bigly, the big 1-0. He's actually in the number 31. I don't know why I said he's in the 1-0. And he's pulling off to the side, and that will conclude his efforts. Zach Miller is in 6th place right now, and just starting their flyer. Darren Wicks coming through the Ardennes Forest now. Looks like he's finding some improvement coming through Sector 1, but it won't be a purple Sector 1. It'll just be green. Provolone, the big stinky cheese man himself, is also improving. Another small improvement to be found through Sector 2, it looks like. Through the bus stop chicane, that'll be a purple Sector 2 actually for the big stinky cheese man himself. Getting to the line, still rests his head in 8th place, not any longer. At 220.487 will put him into 3rd place. And dropping him back down to 4th place as Tones gets to the line and improves at 220.087 on that previous lap. He goes purple through Sector 2, it looks like, and up Rouge and Radion now. The spirit of race is here and alive and well, folks. The 155 Chris Tones carries that flag. And looking at the championship standings right now, it will be Lucas Schroeder in P1 with 40 points. Behind is Will Brunner in P2 with 27 points. Rod Skyhook in third with 23 points. Christopher Tones in P4. Darren Wicks in 5th. Carlos Guzman in 6th. Jacob Church in 7th. Jason Provolone, the big stinky cheese man, in 8th. Xavier Crabb in 9th. Joseph Nunez in 10th. Thomas Leiden in 11th. Dimitri Bode in 12th. And a whole lot of 0 points being handed out, it looks like. But we won't mention any of the remaining drivers, but the top 10. And that will be the top 10 for the GT3 standings at the very least. And we've got 12 GT3 drivers joining us for a 100-minute multi-class Masters event. Quite a few drivers into pit lane now. That'll be Provolone, Austin Wall, and Zach Miller. And Lucas Schroeder also coming down pit road now. And anytime you see the frames freeze on your screen, that means that someone is joining the server, much like an ACC update. Whenever someone with a livery joins the server, we get a slight little screen freeze there, so bear in mind that no, your computer is not going to go kabloom. And just 2 more minutes or one last attempt for the remaining drivers. It'll be Carlos Guzman and One Bigley are the only 2 remaining drivers out on laps right now. One Bigley going purple through sector 2, it looks like, and coming through the final chicane. Let's see if he has enough in the bag to get up to the top spot of the podium. Not looking like it. A 219, 220. 0.011 will be good enough for 3rd place. One Bigley doing an amazing job of getting that lap completed just in the nick of time. Finds himself in front of Chris Tones and behind Carlos Guzman, who's still out on track. Carlos Guzman finds time through sector 1. By nearly 1/10 of a second, he's up on the personal best of Lucas Schroeder. And finding half a second through sector 2, he's on a bit of a rampage right now. Can he carry this speed all the way through to the line? Time will only tell, and he's got this one last couple of corners to go through. Coming through Blanchimont now. And into the final chicane he goes. A little bit of oversteer there as he drifts his way through on the accelerator. He gets it planted. Will he be able to dethrone Lucas Schroeder when he gets to the line? He does not, and he's only separated by 0.7 of a second. Oh man, that is absolutely gutting. What an absolute carnage of lap time that he was able to put together, but lost the speed through that final sector, it looks like. Now the drivers are all headed out of pit lane, it looks like. Chris Severt, Siege Engine. Nicholas Guterro, Spencer Braun, Jake Bucknam, Jose Flores, Wilson Fernandez, Perez Saidi, Sergio Mario, Andre Alex Alfonso, the number 83, Jacob Lozano, and Daitan Lovilski. Lozovsky. Right now, it'll be Nicholas Gutero leading the charge with the fastest Sector 1 time, 32.671. Gutero driving this one fairly well right now. Coming through the bus stop chicane, let's see what the time will be. It goes Gutero with a 201.458. Jose Flores with a 202.240. Spencer Braun with a 202.5, 202.5 for Aiden Burke. Fariz Saidi with a 203.3. Jake Buckland sneaks in with a 202.9 in 5th place. Oh no, and Nicholas Gutero spins out on the racing circuit. That will really hurt his charge as he was coming through. Nailgun Stanley says, whoa, 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 where did Saagar pop up from? Missed that pretty mug and sweet symphony of a voice, my friend. Well, hello to you, Nailgun Stanley, and thank you very much for charming me. You're quite flattering. I was trying to get some first dates in this year, and none of them ended up panning out, unfortunately, so I am flying solo dolo tonight. And flying solo in the broadcast booth as well, the TRACKILICIOUS Mobile Broadcast Center, brought to you by Sargento Cheese, the official cheese sponsor of Jason Provolone. Jose Flores just got to the line, and he actually goes provisional pole with a 201.390, best Gutero's time by 68 thousandths. Aiden Burke in 3rd place, followed by Spencer Braun, Jake Bucknam, Fariz Saidi, Alex Alfonso, and Lozovsky. I was supposed to get some Lozovsky tonight, too. Oh, man. I'm terrible. Flores improving his time by just a little bit. Through Sector 1, he's found a 10th and a half. Sargento does need to hit us up for official sponsoring. This is the 2nd race in a row where I've thrown out the Sargento cheese name. It's about time. The boss was a nice treat, but we all know Saagar is what we want. Thank you very much, Nailgun Stanley. I appreciate the love, my friend. Hello to you too, Rose Gaming. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate all the love and support, everybody. The chatters and non-chatters, the lurkers and the lurkies. Thank you very much for being here with us at TRACKILICIOUS. This is the Multiclass Masters Championship. We're going to go 100 minutes around Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium. The 4.3 mile track, or 7 kilometers, and we all don't know what a kilometer is, so it's just 4.3 miles. Founded in 1921, the current layout since 2020, and obviously we're located in Francorchamps, Belgium. 19 corners, 9 to the right, 10 to the left, 337 feet of elevation changes. What's up, One Bigly? And there's another purple lap time coming out of Jose Flores, a 201.216. Best Guterro by 0.2 of a second now. Talk about the championship, shall we? Rose Gaming, you do need to get your butt back into the mobile broadcast booth. We need more commentators. Daddy's trying to hook up with more single ladies. Therefore, I need more commentators to help out with that. Oh, Saagar with a purple lap. And that'll be a 2-minute flat. Holy Toledos are out. 2 minutes, .423 for Chris Saagar, coming out of nowhere with that lap time. Best Jose Flores. Let's take a look at him. Well, Rose Gaming, sucks to have to choose. You can always become a washed-up racer like me and Michael Noss. Well, I should just speak for myself. I'm a washed-up racer. Mike Noss says he's still got it. Looking at the championship standings in the hypercar category, Michael Moning in the Alpine A424 with first place under his belt for round 1 with 40 points. Arjun Lakshmi Narasimhan with 27 points, driving the Cadillac VLMDH. And then we've got the Siege Engine in third place, and he's got 23 points to his end. Yeah, Mike Noss says he's the best, but just because he retired on top, he said he won a championship and then retired, and that's how his claim to fame has ended. I don't know about all that. Wilson Fernandez in fourth place, driving the BMW Hybrid V8. In fourth place for him. Then it's your man, Andre Alex Alfonso, driving the 499P in fifth place, 15 points. Juan Caires in the sixth place, driving the Porsche 963 in the 12th. Perez Saidi in seventh. Brendan Pfeiffer in eighth. Santiago Barrios in ninth. And Jake Bucknam rounding out the top 10. See a lot of new names in this championship, see a lot of familiar ones as well. But either way, the championship will change up after this. 1 minute left on the clock. The drivers who have crossed the line or will cross the line over the next minute will get this extra bonus lap under their belts, but those that will not, shall not pass go, shall not collect $200, etc., etc. That's a GT3 car. Siege Engine in P2, not improving. Jose Flores in pit lane. Nicholas Guterro is in fourth place. Aiden Burke, Jake Bucknam, both of them down pit road they go. Wilson Fernandez in seventh place. Andre Alex Alfonso in eighth, but in pit lane. Spencer Braun in ninth. Perez Saidi in 10th. Jacob Lozano in 11th, and Dayton Lozovsky in 12th. What just happened? Hello, Izzy, and she asks, or they asked, does the stream come with a charcuterie board this time? I don't think so. Not this time. Not this time, Izzy. I don't know what happened to the stream. There we go. Now we're back. Saidi into pits, and Jacob Lozano will be the last driver to cross the line. You know what? Now that I'm trying to... Izzy, now that I'm trying to date someone, I'm trying to get out and be single, mingle like a Pringle. I think the one thing I have to do is I have to embrace my inner charcuterie. I think planning a picnic with a charcuterie board is probably going to be my next best bet. What do you think, Izzy? Is it in the cards to have a portable charcuterie board? Do you even need a board? Can you just do charcuterie? Can you just do like a picnic charcuterie without the board? Does that still count? Looking at the session results for the hypercar category, Chris Savert in P1, Siege Engine in second place, Nicholas Guterro in third, Spencer Braun, Aiden Burke, Jake Bucknam, Jose Flores, Wilson Fernandez, Faraz Saidi, and Sergio Mario in the top 10. Checking out the GT3s, it's Tamaz Leiden in first place, then Lucas Schroeder in P2, Jason Provolone in third, Carlos Guzman, Chris Tones, Xavier Crabb, Darren Wicks, One Bigley, Drew Harkins, and Austin Wall. Pretty sure you need to have a board in your pocket at all times. Is that a charcuterie board in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me, Izzy? Nailgun Stanley says, I'm pretty sure it's just called jambalaya in the South. I believe you. I believe it. Yeah, and they put theirs in a pot, not a board.
Formation lap has started.
Formation lap has started? Says who? Says this guy. And apparently we have no time to do our standing order, or starting order. Basically, it's what I just said a couple of minutes ago. Chris Savert, Spencer Brown, Siege Engine, Nicholas Guterro, Jose Flores, Aiden Burke, Jake Bucknam, Wilson Fernandez, Alex Alfonso, Faraz Saidi, Jacob Lozano, and Dayton Lozovsky, and Arlen Santos rounding up the 13 hypercars. In the GT3 category, we have Lucas Schroeder, Carlos Guzman, One Bigley, Chris Tones, Darren Wicks, Drew Harkins, Zach Miller, Landon Wall, Xavier Crabb, and Thomas Leiden. And the green flag has been waved, everybody, and away we go. Night Flight says, are we talking about jambalaya? Well, we're really talking about charcuterie, but we'll talk about anything. And that Jake Bucknam getting passed by Wilson Fernandez in the background, it sure does look like it. And there is a very clean start for all the hypercars so far. And the Ferrari of Flores is going 3 wide up at the front there. And that Ferrari, the number 50 of Siege Engine, backs out of that, wants no part of this. Nicholas Guterro lurking in the background, Aiden Burke and Siege Engine colliding with each other there, coming through the Kemmel Straight, it looks like. And now it's all nose to tail right now for the hypercar battle. And Siege Engine is now getting passed by Wilson Fernandez. Oh my goodness, this is a battle for the ages. And Wilson Fernandez yeets it up the inside line, gets the move almost done through No Name. And that Peugeot is Jake Bucknam lurking in the background, trying to find a way past the two battling hypercars out in front. Jake Bucknam gets past one, but not by the other. Lucas Schroeder in the GT3 category leads by a little bit of time. 2.5 is the gap already, but here's Landon Wall and Thomas Lydon. And it looks like Thomas Lydon gets past, Landon Wall gets past Xavier Crabb in the number 70. Thomas Lydon, half a second up the road already. Yellow flags waving for the little bit of dust that was kicked up in front of these two drivers, but quickly removed. Xavier Crabb closing down the gap on the car out in front. Talk about jambalaya. We'll talk about anything food related at this point in time. Let's talk about first date ideas. Yeah, someone give me some ideas, first date ideas that aren't cheesy, that aren't just like let's go out to dinner. Hockey game? Anyone? How about a hockey game for a first date, huh? And Jacob Lozano is the one who's parked here at the bus stop chicane and resuming their charge. The number 7 now coming down pit road, it looks like. Gap between the hypercars sure has gotten a little bit spicier. Chris Savert in chase down by Spencer Braun. The gap is only half a second between them. Jose Flores and Nicolas Gotero separated by around 0.3 of a second. We'll go over the GT3 standings one more time. Since we're watching hypercars, we can see what they're doing. We can't keep an eye on all the GT3 action, though. The gap between Schroeder and Guzman keeps on increasing. It's 3.6, 3.8 seconds separating the leaders. I'm thinking that a date at a movie theater is just a terrible idea. I think that's just a terrible idea because you never get to talk to the person. You're just kind of hanging out. It might be like second, third date material, but never first date material. You know what I mean? You never want to do that. You never get to know the person. You never get to talk to them. It's just a bad idea. Whoa, Lee Toledo, that number 7, that would be Aiden Burke. Almost runs into the back of Nicolas Gotero there at the bus stop chicane. Totally missed braking zone there. But hockey game first date? Plenty of time to talk. You get an hour of talking to each other, and you get an hour of silence of game time. Hockey games are the best. Checking back in with Gotero, chasing down Jose Flores, the battle for P4 and P3. The last of the podium positions. Last but not least, still paying dividends right now. As the Alpine almost runs into the back of Jose Flores in the number 8 Toyota. Cuts the chicane there by a hefty margin and closes down the gap just a little bit. Next closest battle that we have is going to be Alex Alfonso and Arlen Santos. No, that'll be Siege Engine in front of driving the number 50. Oh no, and who's that off in the background? Is that Faraz Saidi? That might be. Would I know the cause of you getting disconnected during quali? and then joining back and being a spectator. Well, I believe that has something to do with the fact that you can't join mid-session. Alex Alfonso having a big drift there, coming out of the bus stop chicane. Zalronos, excuse me. It's because you cannot rejoin mid-session, unfortunately. So when the race has started, unfortunately, that will be all she wrote as far as the server is concerned. You cannot join mid-race session. So it probably put you back in as a spectator because it had nowhere to put you. It was at the switch of quali to race. I personally have no idea, sir. That's something that you might want to bring up in the LMU Discord. They might have a better answer for you. I'm just a lowly broadcaster. Even I go to the LMU Discord for advice sometimes. Alex Alfonso having a huge wiggle now. Not looking good for him. Nicholas Guterro still 6/10 away from Jose Flores. But let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. If you had an incident or if you had a disqualification of some sort, that's something I can help you with. If you want to give someone ballast, that's something I can help out with. You want to give someone 100 kilograms of ballast? I can do that. But I have no idea why you were rocked after quality and joining back in respect to you, sir. I apologize. I cannot help you there. Arlen Santos taking a DNF. Ooh, it seemed to happen to 2 others. I did not notice that. Might be an LMU bug. Hypercars already taking their pit stops, it looks like. Saidi and Lozano taking their pit stops already. This is the battle that keeps on providing us with action. Jose Flores, Nicholas Guterro, 3rd and 4th place between the two of them. Fernandez about 7/10 away from Aiden Burke. Jake Bucknam, Wilson Fernandez, Aiden Burke, all about 8/10 away from each other right now. But of course, we all know that it will really happen during the pit stop cycle, when these drivers decide to come down pit road, and managing their fuel loads will be the most important thing, not necessarily how they're driving right now pace-wise, but we're seeing quite a few 202s amongst the driving field as their best laps at least. Checking out the GT3 field, Chris Tones, Drew Harkins, and Lucas Schroeder are in the top 3, necessarily in that order. Chris Tones trails Drew Harkins. Chris Tones trying to battle for the lead of this championship right now. Yellow flags are waving somewhere on track. A little bit of an indication that something has gone awry. Carlos Guzman and Darren Wicks taking DNFs, excuse me, Carlos Guzman disqualified, and Darren Wicks taking a DNF. Puffman can, says let's go Drewby. Drew Harkins has to put down the pedal to the metal right now as he's got a mean Chris Tones lurking in the background. The number 31 chased down by the 155, and you can see how much the 155 is able to close down the gap coming into the bus stop chicane. But on acceleration, the BMW takes off like a rocket ship, going off into flight. Xavier Crabb 5.4 seconds back. Drew Harkins 12.7 seconds back from Lucas Schroeder, out in first place right now. 12 seconds over only a handful of laps. Oh, I left out the classic Ric Flair. Ooh, hit it. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean I'm supposed to say, and in this corner, we have Drew Harkins battling against Chris Tones, the number 155. The Ferrari Spirit of Racing versus the Team WRT, number 31. Is that what you mean by the woo flare? Oh, and Chris Tones goes a little bit deep and wide into the kitty litter coming out of No Name. Carried a lot more speed than Drew Boy Harkins. And I think this might be the first time that we see the traffic finally hit the GT3 field, at least for the leaders, because here's Chris Savert for the first time coming across the GT3 traffic. Oh, and a little touch there from Savert into the back of the WRT number 31. No lap traffic. Give it lap traffic. Take the way. Spencer Brown chasing down Savert. Just a little bit of a ways behind for the battle of P1 now. Brown chasing down Savert, the battle for P1, the number 3 versus the number 4. Cadillac versus Penske Porsche. Was never heard from again. Puffman McCann. Disappeared in a Never Never Land. Chris Tones still battling it out with Drew Harkins. The battle between the GT3s and lap traffic give it, lap traffic take it away here at the Poulan. And now the Ferrari is looking like he wants to make a move on the inside line here, coming into Stavlot. No, this is going to be not Stavlot. This will be Las Fanges, aka Piff Path. Chris Tones looking like he wants to make this move sooner rather than later. But blue flags are waving, and that'll be the number 8, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's the number 7 Toyota. That'll be Aiden Burke getting by. Nicholas Gutero and the number 8 Toyota getting involved with an incident. That'll be Jose Flores, who got bumped out a little wide there. Gives that position back. Jake Bucknam takes advantage of that coming down Brussels. Jake Bucknam is through on the number 8, Jose Flores, losing out 2 positions in the span of 3 corners. Chris Tones here. Let's see how this Ferrari is getting the work done. Oh, it looks like he wants to make this move so desperately now. Holding off from making a move with contact. BMW of Drew Harkins drifted out there a little bit at Stavlock. And again, a big drift from both cars coming out of the chicane. There you see Thomas Leiden has caught up to them. They're 1.5 away. There goes a move up the inside line coming through La Source. This might be it for the 155, having this move planted, but the BMW snaps right back with its torque that it possesses, able to close down that gap pretty steadily, but the BMW backs out of that move and allows the Ferrari to escape with his life, but the Ferrari gets a track cut there going up Radion. That will be Tones into 3rd place now, or into 2nd place, excuse me. Drew Harkins into 3rd. Thomas Leiden looking like he wants a piece of the pie now. Going up that inside line, coming through Bruxelles. And he's got the move done. Thomas Leiden now into 3rd place. Jose Flores still chasing down Jake Bucknam and Nicholas Gutero, 0.6 up the road. Battling trio for the top spot, or the last step of the podium, still continues. these three, it's anybody's ball game right now. Spencer Brown is 14 seconds up the road, and 2 3/4 seconds away from that is Chris Saagar. Cars bottoming out. Sparks are flying as they come through Blanchimont. Now Jake Buckham's looking like he wants to make a move coming into the bus stop chicane, but will he be able to close down the gap nearly enough? No, the Alpine out in front able to do worldly things right now. And that'll be Jake Buckham trying to shake off any slipstream there, any of that dirty air. Coming into turn one, La Source, 93, he looks at the inside line, but gets a bit of a wiggle at the exit of La Source, turn one. He's a little bit vulnerable there to Jose Flores, the number 8, working in the background, the Toyota in all black and red. Hypercars nose to tail, battling it out amongst themselves. Buckham almost runs into the back of the Alpine, the number 36, Nicholas Dotero. Narrowly escapes that fateful moment. And there goes Buckham a little off at the exit of No Name. And now the number 8 of Jose Flores is going to go side by side coming in towards Pouan. A little bit of side by side door banging between the two drivers. The number 8 held on to its grip line, and Jake Buckham had to secede that position. The number 93 falls back, and now let's look at Jose Flores as he tries to chase down Nicholas Dotero for that position again. Things are looking pretty quiet here on the Western Front, folks. A lot of big gib back. A lot of big gaps starting to form. Words escape me right now. I haven't had my charcuterie board tonight, so excusez-moi. And we've had 6 DNFs and 1 disqualification for Carlos Guzman. Leaving just 16 drivers remaining in this standing. There'll be 9 hypercars and 7 of the GT3s. Dozert Bo. Hello, and thank you for the follow. Welcome to TRACKILICIOUS LMU, where we're doing the 100-minute Multiclass Masters event on Le Mans Ultimate. Exclamation point SimGrid to get in on the action. If this is something that interests you. go ahead and click that link, and it will send you to all of our SimGrid championships, and you can find the Orica Multiclass, well, the Orica Masters Cup, excuse me, which will race next Friday. Or you can join in at the 100-minute Multiclass Masters Championship. Which will race not in 1 week time, but 2 weeks from now, as it's alternating Fridays between the Orica Masters and the Multiclass Masters Series. Another DNF takes place. That'll be Aiden Burke. Wilson Fernandez into his box right now. Ooh, and who is that? Is that Zach Miller potentially? No. One Bigley. That would be one Bigley. Ooh, no. And that car is definitely missing a rear wing right now. Steering wheel doesn't even look straight from the helicopter cam. It is definitely not straight. And one Bigley is having a hard time even getting down to pit lane right now. Yellow flags are waving in that area. Or the LMGT3 to try to make it back home. Hopefully it can do so without too much of an incident. Hopefully get a rear wing bolted on that bad boy and sent back out onto the racetrack. But one Bigley coming down pit lane now. Positions gained and lost right now. Saagar, Brown, Gutierrez up 1. Then Flores, then Bucknam's up 2 positions into 5th place. Leiden actually up 8 positions. Then Harkins up 3. Krabs up 5. Field, 2 DNFs and 1 disqualification, 1 Bigley down pit lane. Chris Tone's the only driver to be down 1 in the GT3 category. Looking at the hypercar class, Saagar, Brown, Gutierrez up 1, then Flores, then Buckland's up 2, Siege Engine down 3. Lozowski is up 5, Fernandez right where he started, as well as Brown and Saagar. And a whole handful of DNFs after that out of the top 9. Jose Flores 1.3 seconds away from Nicholas Gutierrez. Number 36 separated by the number 8 by 1.3 seconds. Jake Bucknam in 5th place. Siege Engine in 6th. And Dayton Rozovsky in 7th. Wilson Fernandez in 8th. Xander Zone 85 asks, how is the race going so far? Well, it's pretty quiet, Xander Zone. Not much really happening anymore. Drivers are all separated by over a second or two. Watching Chris Zavert make his way past the number 155. That'll be Chris Tones. Chris Tones had to take his pit stop there. Take a quick look at the GT3 field and the number of pit stops. Chris Tones, yes, did take a pit stop. One Bigley's taken 2. Miller now into the pits. That'll be Zach Miller. Everybody else still deciding to stay out for now. Taking a look at the hypercar field pit stops, Wilson Fernandez, the only one who has decided to take a pit stop so far. One lap down on the rest of the field. Mitchell Diaz says, I missed the race. Oh no. How'd you manage to do that, my friend? Is it because the alternating Friday schedule threw you off? Jake Bucknam into pit lane, and he is pitting out now. A little bit of an early stop there for Mr. Bucknam. Perhaps going for a bit of an undercut strategy on the rest of the field. Should be able to see these hypercars go for about 55 minutes. Mitchell Diaz says SimGrid is not notifying 1 hour earlier and 1 day earlier. I don't know. That might be a personal preference thing. Puffman McCann asks, since jumping on a little late, how many drivers do we have in each class? How many drivers did we start with, or how many drivers do we have remaining? We started out with 13 drivers in the hypercar category and 10 drivers into the GT3 field. And now we've dropped down to 8 in the hypercar category and 6 in the GT3 field. No problem, Puffman McCann. Glad to have you here. Glad that you're back. Night Mambo says, I got the notification before the race. Not sure why it did not work for you. Yeah, Mitchell Diaz. Back to the battle between Jose Flores and Nicholas Guerrero is spicing up just a little bit. Coming out of La Source, it's under 1 second separating the two drivers. Six tenths now the gap between Jose Flores and Nicholas Guerrero. And the pit stop cycle was about 1 lap away from opening up for the hypercar field. We saw Jose Flores and Nicholas Guerrero come together here at the end of the Kemmel Straight just a few laps ago at Les Combes. Now the driver separated by around half a second should have no qualms about battling it out yet again. Number 8 trails the 36. Guerrero leads over Flores. Looks like Spencer Brown into pit lane. Now the gap down to around half a second. It looks like that Flores has the speed to catch up to Guerrero. And the pit stop cycle is officially underway now. Flores and Guerrero both down pit road they go. The Vert also in pits. Siege Engine inherits the lead of the race. Still stopped right now. Brown re-inherits second place. Divert gets rolling out now. And Jose Flores beats Guerrero out of pit lane by a long bit, as Guerrero is still stationary in the box, finally rolling out. That was a very long stop for Nicholas Guerrero. He's now down into 6th place behind Jake Bucknam. Siege Engine still has to make his pit stop still. Siege Engine still holding on with 52 minutes remaining. Done an excellent job of fuel saving this race. Able to go very long into this first stint. Now Siege Engine still holding on to this lead for now. Will he decide to come down pit road on this occasion? Probably so. This lap or the following lap, he couldn't have saved that much fuel, could he? Unless he started with a full fuel tank. Plans on running this one down to the very end, it looks like. Nope, down pit road, Siege Engine goes. Spencer Brown coming around in second place. He's getting through the bus stop chicane now. Should inherit the lead of this one. 49-48 remaining. Siege Engine finally coming out of pit lane in 6th place behind Gutero now. Datian Lazowski in 8th place coming into his box. Man, the gaps are so big right now. I thought we were on gap to leader, not gap to next. It is 20 seconds from Schroeder to Leiden. And Xavier Crabb, 44 seconds back. Then Drew Harkins is 13 seconds back. All's pretty quiet. Brown getting chased down by Subvert. The gaps come down to 5.6 seconds. Keeps on coming down. Subvert doing a good job of closing this gap down. Subvert lead over 3. Second place brought down the gap to 1.1 seconds now. David Crabb also 0.3 of a second away from Drew Harkins. Subvert and Spencer Brown. Now the move. Up the inside line goes Subvert. Now switches the outside line for Blanchimont. That move completed like taking candy from a baby. Chris Subert back into the lead of the race. Fastest lap being 2:01.4. For the final podium spot. Grab still chasing down Harkins, but the gap has opened up to around 0.6 of a second between them. Blinking back down to around 0.4 of a second. Gap has opened up to 3 seconds between Brown and Subert. 18 seconds back is Flores. Out of Piff Pav, it looks like Xavier Crabb and the Inception Racing team wants to get a move done. 3/10 now separating the two drivers and dropping rapidly as the WRT number 31 of Harkins loses out a little bit of pace there. 36 remaining in this race. Everything's gone very quiet here, folks. Over half the field dropping out of this race so far. This is the closest battle that we have on the racetrack. 1 second separating Xavier Crabbe from Drew Harkins. Still very quiet here. Xavier Crabbe chasing down Drew Harkins. 1.2 is the gap. Lucas Schroeder in the lead of this one, driving the number 46 of Team WRT. Tomaz Leiden in second place, driving the same 46 of WRT. Drew Harkins in third place right now. Team WRT. Are you noticing a trend for the top three? Then Xavier Crabbe in fourth place, Chris Tones in fifth place, Zach Miller in sixth. Hello, Eric. How do you do, my friend? The gap now. It keeps on slinking back and forth between the McLaren and the BMW, but nothing really to write home about as Crabbe still tries to chase down Drew Harkins out in P3. 31 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this race, and we've got some pretty big gaps right now. This being the closest battle on the racetrack. Separated by around half a second, still that gap slinking back and forth between Xavier Crab. Jola Flush 13, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Tracklicious family. You're here watching LMU on Trackalicious. This is the Multiclass Masters event. If this type of event interests you, exclamation point SimGrid in the chat. And you'll find a link to all of the content that Tracklicious provides. And you yourself can join in on the LMU fun. Lap traffic giveth, lap traffic taketh away as well. Like Crab got the rear end of the stick on this one. Pushing very hard right now. You can see him dipping wheels off into the gravel. He's pushing so hard. Move at Blanchimont side by side, going for a switchback, can't get it done. Has to fall in single file line going into the bus stop. Makes his way through. That would be day 10. Dacian Lozovsky. Xavier Crabbe and Drew Harkins still the closest battle on track by a long shot. Drew Harkins now driving away a little bit from Xavier Crabbe, the number 70. Dozer Bo says the caddy is a rocket. We'll tell that to Chris Severt. He's driving the caddy pretty well right now. Out in first place by 19 seconds over his fellow opponent, Spencer Brown, driving the Porsche Penske Motorsport number 4. But I believe Brown will have to pit one more time. Siege Engine re-inherits third place of the race. I believe that's Jose Flores. Yes, Flores into pit lane one more time. Siege Engine will definitely make it to the end of this race now. Flores and Siege Engine going after it. 310 separating the number 8 from the number 50. Ferrari out in front now. Siege Engine falls back to 4th place behind Jose Flores now. 7.7 is the gap. Crowd 3 seconds away from Drew Harkin, the next closest battle on the track. 15 minutes remaining in this event. catch up to Spencer Brown. There's not Siege Engine behind him. That would be number 15 of Wilson Fernandez, who is one lap down right now. Jose Flores was about a tenth away from Spencer Brown coming up from Gallon. Seemingly losing out that pace. Now the gap has increased to around 1.8. Again, the battle we're looking at right now is between Jose Flores and Spencer Brown ahead. Or behind is Wilson Fernandez, who is one lap down. Gap is opening up to 3.2 seconds between Spencer Brown and Jose Flores. I don't think it's going to go anywhere in the next 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Looking at the GT3 field, Lucas Schroeder leads the charge with 4 remaining GT3s, 5 remaining GT3s. 46 of Bleeden, then Crab, then Harkins, and Tones. Those are the gaps between the cars, not the gaps. And in the hypercar category, it's Simert over Brown, then Flores, Siege Engine, Jake Bucknam, Nicholas Guerrero, Wilson Fernandez, and Gaitan Kozlovsky. Datian. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Christopher across the line. Probably this will be his last lap of the race. This will be the final lap of the race for Chris Saagar. Crossing the line for the final time in first place. Spencer Brown in second place. Jose Flores in third. Siege Engine in fourth. Jake Bucknam in fifth. Nicholas Gutero in sixth. Wilson Fernandez in seventh. Datian Kozlovsky in eighth place. Night Mambo, you are too kind. I apologize. My energy was not here tonight. Lucas Schroeder in first place. Tomas Leiden in second place. Xavier Crabb in third. Drew Harkins in fourth. Chris Tones in fifth. Zach Miller taking a DNF. Night Mambo, you are too kind. This should be it for all the drivers. I don't know why Tomas Leiden is still on the track. He should be wrapped up. There it is. Lucas Schroeder crosses the line. Thomas Leiden in second place. David Crabb in third. Drew Harkins in fourth. Chris Tones in fifth place. Looking at the results for the GT3 category, Schroeder, Leiden, Crabb, Harkins, Tones. And the hypercar, it's Savert, Brown, Flores, Engine, Bucknam, Gutero, Fernandez, Lazuski. Head back over to the studio, folks. Hello, it's me. It's the big Saagar, aka Saagar Bakshi. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for having a wonderful time tonight with us driving LMU. You guys have been a fantastic crowd to please tonight. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys are giving us here and keeping the lights on more than ever. Cheers to everybody who participated in the race tonight. Really appreciate it. You guys are fantastic drivers. Thank you very much for making LMU a huge success here at TRACKILICIOUS. And with that, let's take a look at the calendar. Oh, that's the Patreons. But thank you very much to all of our Patreon subscribers. Really appreciate all the love and support that you guys give to keep the lights on here at TRACKILICIOUS. And let's take a look at that calendar. GT4 rookies on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be headed to Misano for its penultimate race, and then Misano again for a 50-minute race for the GT4 Open. West Coast Wednesdays, we'll be headed to Centerton on February 26th for a 50-minute race. The GT3 Championship on iRacing on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be at the Charlotte Roval on February 27th. Multiclass Masters Championship, we just did Spa-Francorchamps. Next week we'll be at Spa-Francorchamps for the Orca Masters. The following week will be Sao Paulo on March 7th. Proto Pavement Championship, the staple of the GT3 championships here at TRACKILICIOUS, so you yourself can go from sim to IRL. We'll be headed to Valencia, then Watkins Glen and Paul Ricard to decide the champion of who gets to win the free IRL track day with a track prep car and $500 in their pocket for travel expenses. Again, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for their participation. Let's go ahead and raid someone. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye.